We hope that the nuclear deal will prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear capabilities, that it has a robust and continuous inspection mechanism, and that has a provision for snapback of the sanctions should Iran violate those terms. We have been assured by the United States and the other P5+1 countries that this in fact is the case, and as a consequence we have welcomed this deal when it was announced. So the idea that Saudi Arabia is opposed to this deal or lobbying against it is not correct.
How worried is your government, though, about the possibility of all this money being unfrozen, all these Iranian assets being unfrozen around the world and being spent in whatever direction Iran chooses now in future?
Every country in the world is worried about this, because Iran's record, unfortunately, is not a perfect record when it comes to being a nation state that acts in a reasonable manner. Iran's record has been one of war and destruction, terrorism, assassination, destabilization, interference in the affairs of other countries. And the concern that most countries in the world have is that Iran not use these funds in order to fund these destabilizing activities, and instead use those funds in order to improve the standard of living of its people.
You've talked about Iran not behaving like a nation state, and you've warned of countermeasures that your government could take if that continues. What kind of countermeasures are we talking about?
We've cut off diplomatic relations with Iran, we cut off commercial relations with Iran, we cut off air travel to and from Iran, and we have a travel warning and prohibition of travel to Iran by our citizens. We are supporting our allies and our friends who are suffering from aggression by Iran and from interference by Iran in their internal affairs, and we will assess things as they move along, but we will not stand idly by while the Iranians try to spread their influence and their mischief in the region.
People in the West are used to seeing Saudi Arabia as a conservative, rather inscrutable nation, but one that has been seen and presented by Western governments as a sort of bastion of stability. In recent days and weeks, we've seen headlines talking about Saudi Arabia's leadership as being reckless, impulsive, aggressive. These aren't the adjectives we normally hear.
Only too recently ago, people were criticizing Saudi Arabia, including in your media in Britain, for not taking a leadership role. Saudi Arabia needs to step up and take a leadership role. The West cannot be the policeman of the Gulf. The West cannot protect the Saudis. The Saudis have all this money and they're sitting on it, and they want to hold our coattails while we go to battle with them. These were the words we were hearing from everyone, including from people in the British press. Now that Saudi Arabia stepped up and taken decisive action in Yemen, in supporting the Syrian opposition, in standing up to Iran, people are saying, why are the Saudis doing this? It's reckless. It's one of those positions where it's damn if we do, damn if we don't. Make up your mind. Do you want us to lead, or do you want us to support? And if you want us to support, who's going to lead?